week 5. Dunzo. This is my update for week 5, and I tell you what, it's been a very interesting week. Going into week 4 and going into week 5. So week 4 and part of week 5, I did not see a lot of weight loss. I just didn't. I've been told that happens sometimes. So 5 weeks into this, I'm trying not to, I don't have a lot of time to really be on YouTube and everywhere else and do a ton of research of like what would work best for me. I listen to a few different people. I see stuff here and there, and I just go with what kind of makes sense. But everybody is an individual person. You have to figure things out for yourself on what works best for you. And so figuring out what my eating time should be, how many times in the day I should be eating, and how much I should be eating at those times I am eating, that's something I've really had to figure out. I'm trying to wrap my mind around how everything works with this whole carnivore diet thing. And I'm happy to say that I'm down almost 14 pounds, and that's without exercising at all, and that's without starving myself. So that's pretty incredible in my eyes. I have changed to actually sticking to more of a strict eating schedule, and I realized what my issue was. It was my meatballs. Yes, they were tasty. Yes, they were amazing. But I tell you what happens when you cook meatballs. A lot of that fat just renders right out of that meatball, and what you're left with is a little protein ball. Unfortunately, it did not have, after cooked, it did not have the fat content in that meatball to do two different things. One, suppress my appetite. It did not suppress my appetite. And I was eating these meatballs like 3 times a day. Too much to eat. I was eating too much. So I had actually gained some weight. Now, I mean, not from where I started, but at my low, which was at one point around 283 pounds, I think is where I got to my lowest. And then I bumped up like 5 pounds. Sometimes your weight varies a few pounds a day, and I get that. And that might have been some of when I measured, I didn't always measure at exactly the same time of the day. And so I might have increased a little bit, but not as much as it actually measured on the scale. So I went back to eating more of a high fat. And I'm really forcing myself to eat that high fat. But when you do that, you do ingest that high fat, one, it's totally fills you up and you feel content, right? Not just right then, but all day long. So I realized by eating that really high fat, it would hold me over. I could do 1 meal a day and I'd be good to go. And I could like almost gorge myself. And I started doing that the latter part of week 5, and I've already seen a change. Like, it's crazy how quick that's happened. It's been amazing. And my weight dropped right back down. Like, I literally lost, I think, like 6 pounds this week just by changing the way I'm doing things. I also noticed that when I ate more protein and less fat, things weren't going through my entire body as fast as they were with the higher fat content. And so that was another sign too. And then I want to tell you too, I did a little experiment because I told you inflammation apparently has been plagued in my body for a long time. And that is like so under control, it's insane. And when I say inflammation, it's my knee pain, which I still have a totally messed up knee, but I'm not in pain all the time because I don't have inflammation. My lower back, the doctors have diagnosed me with degenerative disc disease, which just means you're old and your back is wore out and you have compression on your lower vertebrae and you're not a lot of cushion in between there. That's degenerative disc disease, I guess. And I have that. So with that being said, I always have back pain all the time. Standing, sitting, sleeping, it doesn't matter, always have back pain. Well, that's gone away, as I've stated before, and now it's just I'll have some back pain when I'm doing something long-term, driving a long distance, standing a long time, but the pain goes away and I can sleep at night. I don't have pain when I'm sleeping. So I'm pretty happy with that. The other big one I told you, I think it was this last week on week 4 update, was my nasal passage. I'm now, after 30 some years, am able to breathe free and clear. And I used to be addicted to like Vicks nasal spray and other nasal sprays because it was the only way I was able to breathe. Now, hear this. That's not bad at all. That's not bad at all. I want to point this out too. I didn't just sniff a steak. This is actually plastic. This is my microphone. So if you think I'm crazy for talking into a steak, it's actually my microphone. So inflammation can affect you in a bunch of different ways. I also was having mass amount of pain for years right here. Turns out that's sinuses, right? I don't have that pain anymore. This is amazing. I can breathe through my nose. And another interesting thing happened. Sounds a little weird, might be a little too much information, but I was able to take a Q-tip on my left ear and go all the way inside the hole, like where my ear canal was at, right? No problems on this side. On this side of my head, on this ear, I was not able to get into that hole. And I was like, I have two different size holes. No, that's not the case. For like 30 years again, this hole has been swollen, apparently making the hole much smaller. Now, because I don't have this inflammation, I can breathe through my nose. I can actually clean that ear hole out. It's way bigger than it was. How crazy is that? These are side effects to this diet I was never expecting. So have I lost 30 pounds in 5 weeks? No, I haven't. But that's okay, because all these other things are so amazing to me. And I tested this whole sinus, breathing thing out. About 5 days ago, I wanted to do a test, and I went out to dinner with my family, and I broke my diet for that night. You know what? 5 weeks into it, why not? I think maybe once every few weeks break your diet. It can't be horribly bad for you. But I tell you what happened. We went to a restaurant, and we got chips and salsa, and I ate those chips. And those were corn chips that had been fried. Very thin, tiny chips, but they were corn chips, tortilla chips, and I ate those with that awesome salsa. I then for dinner had fajitas. It was a trio. It was chicken, it was steak, and it was shrimp with a little bit of rice and flour tortillas to hold that all together. That's what I ate, and I probably had like 4 flour tortillas and a good handful of chips. And then I also did have a margarita, and that margarita, it was a nice big margarita. And yes, a lot of times when you have alcohol, things just kind of swell up, but it did happen for sure. And that night, before we even get into the night, I left the restaurant feeling tremendously bloated. I was so uncomfortable. I felt like I had to almost unbutton my pants. I was really, really uncomfortable. And that night sleeping was a disaster. One, I couldn't breathe through my nose, so there was a lot of me just waking up, choking and gasping for air. And 2, I felt so uncomfortable. And here's the thing. I didn't eat as much as I normally eat with my carnivore diet. It did not feel good at all. So that was an interesting thing. Now, with that being said, that's probably not really out of the normal for how things affected me before I went on the carnivore diet. So what I'm saying is, it's not just me eating all this weird food all of a sudden and my system's not doing good. That's kind of how I felt every night after I ate prior to me being on this whole carnivore diet life. So going back to what I'm eating, I went back to eating more steaks. That's just awesome. I'm having some sausages and eating up the sausages. I cut them up into little tiny pieces. I put them in a skillet and I pretty much fry them up in bacon grease from me cooking bacon all the time. I've increased my bacon intake again, and yet again, that helps fill me up quick, and I just feel better long term, and things pass through my body much easier that way. I haven't had any issues at all with cramps, headaches, anything like that when I'm sleeping at night. Nothing like that at all. No headaches during the day, no cramps at night. I think I'm probably kind of past that point, and I am salting my food a lot, so I'm sure that's helping out. The steaks, all I do is I just put the Redmond's ancient sea salt on there, and that is flavoricious. I just wrapped up a video for you guys yesterday about how I cook steaks and the different ways I do it, and using a really, really awesome tool for backyard cooking that I think you're going to find value in. So keep your eyes out for that video that should hit in the next few days or so. And in that, I got to tell you, if you've never had an Akashi Wagyu steak, you're going to need to. It will change your life. But be aware, it might also ruin your date night to a local steakhouse, because no one will be able to make a steak as good as you can if you're doing this awesome Akashi Wagyu steak. Game changer. So I'm a few days into week 6 right now, and I want to let you know, by the weekend, I will be down 15 pounds in total. I know I will, because I'm like right there on the verge right now. And I still got a few days left until the weekend comes. So for my end of week 6 update, I should be 15 pounds lighter. And you know what? That's not bad for me. I will say this, since my knee pain is going away and it feels much stronger right now, I think also in week 6, I will be doing some walking, and I will take you along with it. Maybe on my week 6 update, I'll do it as I'm actually walking and trying to walk for an hour during the day or early in the morning. I have also hit the weights a little bit, so I am using 20-pound dumbbells, and I am just doing some basic things. Nothing crazy. I did have shoulder surgery a couple years ago, and so I can't get real nutty with anything. I think I feel better because of that. It's good to get your blood pumping, get things flowing and everything. Let me give you an update on maybe something a little personal. My libido. I tell you what, I have the drive and the passion that I have not had since my mid-20s, and that is amazing. I mean, I've never really had an issue there, but just sometimes the act of it, you just not having the energy, maybe the drive to do it. That's not the case anymore. I have the drive to do all sorts of stuff now. It's crazy, and it's been really awesome. So to end my week 5, I'm not going away, and I'm going to add a lot of content, cooking content and things like that. I've got a lot of things coming up. A lot of companies want to work with me, so it's been pretty cool. Between this channel and Mr. Flavorsmith, my cooking channel, pretty awesome. So I just want to let you guys know it's okay to mess up on this. You know, it's okay to cheat every once in a while. It's like an experiment to where you can really understand your body better. You know, so the failures in this just make the successes so much better. I think a lot of people kind of end this at 4 weeks, maybe 5 weeks. And I think that's just the beginning of the greatness. So I encourage you to do what I'm doing, and let's just push forward and give it another 6 weeks and see what it looks like at 12 weeks. Because I think at 12 weeks, that's when you're really going to see like massive changes. You know, I've met a lot of people, specifically this last week, that have just done amazing things in such limited time. I just met a person recently, just the other day, that lost 70 pounds in 5 months. I mean, that's just awesome. That's so cool. One of the viewers on here, he's lost 100 pounds in like 5 or 4 months, which is crazy. Great job for you, man. But all the other health benefits are really strong with this whole diet and way of life, and I'm not stopping. Anyway, I hope you got some encouragement, some inspiration, some sort of value out of this video today. And stay tuned for some cooking content that's going to be coming up here on the channel in just a few days. Live a healthy life, everybody. See you in the next one.